Hello everyone, welcome back to Durbanites FPL. This is the stats review for season 2023-2024 to wrap up our coverage of that one and kick off the new season. So let's get into it with the awards that we have for this season, starting with the categories of the Titanium Wall, the Midfield Maestro, the Super Strikers, the Transfer Happy Managers, the Money Makers, and then finally the biggest loser. So let's kick off with Titanium Wall. I don't think there is any doubt on who would win this one. The best of the defenders, Squish, 724 points just from her defensive wall. She has got the most Stone Wall, Iron Wall, and the only Titanium Wall award throughout the season. Really, really well done on the defensive side. And on the flip side of that, well, before we get to that, actually, I just have to mention that she's just beaten Hack by 3 points. So it was very, very close in the end. But what was not close is the difference between her and the worst defense in the league, almost 200 points away, Mobs with 532. Now looking at the midfield maestro, here we have Ami with a massive 1,132 points. Salah, Palmer, Saka at all bringing her the title of midfield maestro this season, where she crushed the worst midfield from Hack by more than 500 points. But on the front lines this season, they were under pressure. Only a few elite strikers were firing, and among all the turmoil, someone still had the best nose for offense, and that person is Dora the scorer. So Azra coming in with 729 points, with again a massive gap of over 200 points on the worst strike partnership this season. Squish needs to definitely improve on that one. Now, when we look at which managers played the transfer market like they played the lotto, Fatih and Mubin share the title of being the most transfer happy managers this season with 68 transfers, excluding free hits and wildcards, so almost 2 a week. And the most transfer shy being Hussein, who hardly moved his team for the first 10 weeks of this season. Now, transfers in the real world are subject to financial fair play rules, so we had to look into the financials for these deals. And Fatih has been the shrewdest negotiator, gaining 4.3 million during the course of the season. And on the flip side, Mubs losing 0.6 million in all his deals throughout the season. And then finally, looking at the points lost through excessive transfers, Mubs shedding a massive 152 points during the course of the season, and on the flip side, Azra not losing a single point, and coincidentally would have shared this accolade with Fataliteam, but for him making one additional change in the final week of the season to chase the cup, leaving him with minus 4 points for the season. Now, we also had some chips played during the season, so we wanted to compare who was the shrewdest at playing their chips, starting with the bench boost, and then looking at, of course, the free hit, the wildcards 1 and 2, and then the triple captain. Now, starting off with the bench boost, the best play of the bench boost was by Mubs, 108 points on the week that he played his bench boost, versus the worst one, which was Ami, who only got 63 for playing that. Then looking at the free hit, Squish, another Centurion, 101 points on the free hit week. And we know the free hit was played by a lot of people in a slack game week, and Zax was one of them, only 19 points from her free hit. Big differences there. Looking at Wildcard 1, again early in the season, Ami played that, 67 points, well done there. And of course on the other side, looks like Fatih and Hack forgot to play it before it expired, so 0 points for them. And on Wildcard 2, we have Zax with a massive 125 points on this one. Big changer. Definitely helped her catch up in the chase for the league. And then you've got Mubs, 22 points on Wildcard 2 was not the best play of that one. On the triple captain, here's some massive points, 130 points, the highest of any game week. Triple captain played by Fatih in that week. And then Hussein completely forgetting to play his triple captain in the season. So very important to place these chips. I hope you guys are planning already for the season coming ahead. Now, as you all know, our champion was crowned at the end of last season, Fataliteam winning the double of the Durbanites FPL Cup and the league. So both of those trophies going to him, and I had a little bit of a catch up with him to talk about his season and of course to award him the trophies. So let's go and see how that went.
Hello everyone, welcome back. And today we are joined by the winner of Durbanites SPL 2023-2024, Mohammed Sadiq, the owner of Fatality. So we have a few questions for him before we award him his trophies, starting with after finishing a close second last season, what did you do differently this season?
Well, let's say last season, I guess I was very new to the league. I'd never done anything like it before, so it was a new experience for me. There was a lot that I had to learn, but I felt like I learned a lot in a very short amount of time. And already in my second year, I feel like I had enough experience that I could take some chances, take some risks. I feel like that's really what helped me.
Yeah. So you've easily been the most consistent team this season. What's the secret behind that?
Well, I would say that I do get a lot of solid advice from our resident pundit over here. But sometimes you just have to take a couple chances. Like for example, not everything that you see on paper is what it seems. For example, you have a maybe it's a good match on paper or a difficult match on paper, but that doesn't mean that's how it's gonna play out. And I think like a good example of that is Jordan Pickford, who I kept on my team since the beginning, despite the fact that he didn't have a great start, and like the advice was probably to toss him out. But towards the end of the season, he ended up being top of the league, or like captaining Dominic Solanke instead of Haaland or Watkins. So things like that. Take some risks, and it might pay off, it might not. But yeah, it worked
Oh,
for
it's
me.
definitely paid off for you for sure. So through the 38 game weeks, you've had a few teams challenging you. Which was the team that you always had to keep an eye on?
Well, so there were two teams actually, and in the beginning it was Dora the Spora. They were kind of unbeatable if you think about it for like a couple months in a row. They were at the top of the league. They weren't moving. They were the team to beat. And eventually, at the halfway point throughout the season, I managed to get that number one spot. And I thought, okay, from here, easy, I can consistently keep it. But then Onana, that's my name. That team was on my neck from the beginning when I was there. I don't think, right up until the end of the league, I don't think I ever felt comfortable in the first place. Even at one point, I went down to a single digit lead and I managed to keep it. But even when I went back up to double digits, I was always on edge. I always felt like one small mistake, that's it. Like I'm not getting back to the top. And even when it came to the cups, like league aside, I think I ended up against Onana in the semifinals, and that week I scored like over 140 points, but I still only beat them by maybe 4-3
Very
points.
close
So
one.
yeah.
Very close one. So this year we had a new approach to the league with the YouTube channel, with the weekly updates. How did you find that impacted your league?
I felt like it was easier to follow, like having one video a week as opposed to two, and also like the structure change instead of focusing on like team by team. We rather did like position by position, forwards, defense, etc. I think that's much easier when you're choosing, especially in a time limit. Like a lot of the time, you make last minute changes. It's easier to follow that video structure. Yeah.
Very good. And in terms of winning the league and cup double, so quite an interesting one. Your trophies are waiting for you. How does that feel?
I mean, like I said, I'm fairly new to this. This is only my second year doing it. So I'm pleasantly surprised. But yeah, it feels really good.
Good. And the new season is starting in a couple of weeks. So what's the message for the rest of the competitors?
I had a lot of fun last season, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again. And I'm not planning on giving these up very easily. So bring the A game.
Very good. Then, without further ado, let me present you firstly with your league trophy for the Durbanites FPL for the year, followed also by our cup for the Durbanites Cup. Well deserved, really well played season. Enjoy.
And on that note, guys, it's time for us to close up this video. I hope you enjoyed and looking forward to catching up on the next video coming out, which talks about the new rules in place and the mystery chip that's coming up in the new season. I expect to drop that video this week, and then in a week's time, just before the start of the season, one talking about transfers and potential setups for the first week of the season. So until then, take care. Don't forget to like, subscribe, drop us some notes, and hope you were awarded something during this season. So long for now.